Christian Solidarity Worldwide says the two Protestant pastors were imprisoned in Cuba on July 11th amid nationwide protests against the communist government. The pastors had no contact with their families during their detention. Cuban state security also forced the eviction of one of the pastors' families from their home. An official with CSW is calling for all charges against the pastors to be dropped and the release of a third pastor who remains imprisoned.
If you've been watching the news, you know that the reports of the chaos that's taking place in Cuba, where ministers of the gospel, these Christian pastors that were arrested, two recently that were released, one who is still in prison, that this is nothing new. Religious persecution taking place in Cuba. But what we do know is through recent reports is that the pastor who is still in prison, his wife just yesterday went to the prison to find out if her husband was even alive, and the guards told her if she continues to speak to the news media that her son's life would be in danger also. We become very comfortable in America because we don't see this kind of persecution, but it could be at our doorsteps at any moment. We become comfortable because we have such great religious freedoms, but we know those freedoms could be snatched from us at any moment. We understand in the book of Revelation chapter 2 verse 10, the words of Jesus himself tells us that we should not be surprised when this persecution comes. In fact, let me read to you that text. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and that you may also have tribulation 10 days. But be thou faithful unto death, and I will give you a crown of life. You see, one of the pastors that was released, when he got home, he found out that his family was evicted from their home. The government put pressure on his landlord to do that, and the landlord caved to the government. And so we understand that every day that we have is, yes, a gift from God. But we also understand that the next day, if the Lord allows us to awaken, that we could see this persecution at our doorsteps. Let us be prepared in season and out of season, regardless of what's happening, persecution or peace. Let us be prepared to be firm in our faith and being in prayer also for those being persecuted for their belief in Jesus Christ. May God be with the people of Cuba, and may God be with the pastors in America, that we will awaken our congregations through the preaching of the gospel, that we should not take these rights that we have, the right to assemble, the right of free speech, the right to preach the gospel like we do. Let us not take that for granted. God bless you, and may God bless the work that is being done right now in those churches in Cuba.